Greetings, plant lovers. Today's episode is a little different. I'm going to show you how to repurpose an old bathtub. So I found these two old bathtubs on a rubbish dump and used them to collect water. Then I transported them to where I wanted them to be. Afterward, I emptied them out and I transported them, and during transportation they got cracked. So I filled them up again, and the next day the water had run out, which was really annoying. So I proceeded to clean the bathtub, and that's Predak in the background. And then I cleaned them out and got some fiberglass, and I fixed the two bathtubs. I filmed this process and I will show you how that is done. So if you do have an old bathtub or something similar and you want to know how to use fiberglass for that purpose, this is how to do that. Okay, enjoy this video. So this is the bathtub that I was telling you about. You can see that I've now completely cleaned it out really nicely, and I'll just show you. That's where the crack is right there. So that crack, and then there's another little something over there. I imagine that is probably part of the problem. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I just picked up this bath somewhere, and I am going to show you how to seal it so we can use it in the same way as this. This is a little, much smaller bathtub that we just came across, and it's teeming with life. There are mosquito fish, pond snails, and an assortment of different water plants, both submerged and on the surface, and obviously the bulrush, young bulrush. So yeah, let's get cracking. Right, so in order to repair a bathtub and repurpose it for the sake of growing water plants and perhaps using it as a mini nursery for fish, you will need the following. So you'll need some fiberglass strand mat, so the actual fiber, the mat that you're going to place over the crack. You'll need a container, which you are not going to use again, so I've literally just cut this can and allowed it to dry on the inside, give it a good rinse. I've got this little guy, which is just like a little scraper thing which you can use to actually just smooth out stuff. The resin, once it's starting to harden, just give it a smooth surface. You don't need this. You could use pretty much anything. You could also use a brush, but remember, if you are going to use a brush, you know obviously that you're not going to be able to use this brush again, because once the resin hardens, you've got about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes for it to harden. So you're not going to be able to use this brush again. I'm not sure if there is a product on the market that can dissolve that, but hey, that's that. Need a scissors to cut the mat to size, some 80 grit sandpaper, so that's 80 grit, a pair of gloves, not ideal, I suppose surgical gloves would be better, but I don't have any right now, and a nice cloth just to wipe things down. And then lastly, you will also need the catalyst, which the resin, which is this stuff here, fiberglass resin, you will actually add this into that, and that will make the resin which the fiberglass is embedded in. The first things first, the crack. You want to actually just make sure that the crack is clean, so that everything around it has been cleaned to the best that you actually can, and then you're gonna just lightly sand over it. And you're going to want to sand around the entire area, not just on the crack itself. so that the piece of fiberglass matting you're going to cut to size over this, so it fits perfectly over the entire area. So that's literally what I'm doing here, is I'm just going to sand that off camera because it's really difficult this way, and then we'll come back after it's nicely sanded down. Okay, I'm going to do that one and also that little one there. Cool, meet you back here in a couple of minutes. Okay, so I have fully sanded it down, so the crack actually looks, I have to say, quite beautiful, if you could say that about a crack. So yeah, that's a beautiful crack right there, guys. The other one, you can actually see that, you can actually kind of, in the light, you can kind of see that it's been sanded a little bit, and you can see that there. So yeah, maybe I'll do that one a bit more. And then this one here is pretty darn well sanded. So sand this one a little bit more, that one there, and then thereafter I will definitely be mixing some of the fiberglass resin into that little container and add some catalyst to that. Okay, so yeah, let's do that thing. Kom ons doen dit, julle. Okay, so what I've done now is I've turned the bath on its side because it's just easier to work in. So I've cut the fiberglass mat to size, the same size as the, well, just slightly bigger than the crack. So I place it over the crack like so. Okay, and then I've got another little piece, which is this one here, for that little crack up there. So that one there, that's gonna go over there. Okay, so I've put the catalyst into the resin, and I'm just mixing it about now. Careful for the fumes because it is pretty intoxicating. And I've placed the fiberglass mat over the actual area that we're going to repair, and I'm just mixing it thoroughly first, and then I'm going to start dribbling the actual resin over the area that is due to be repaired. Okay, so that I'm just going to do that first, and just kind of let it, like rain, kind of soak in. It's probably going to take forever, so I'll probably end up using my brush very soon. Okay, great. It's a really cool tool to actually use. Okay, so now I'm going to get the brush, and I'm going to just paint it on, and the crack immediately becomes visible actually, which is quite interesting. And you remember, you're working with a chemical, so you want to work in a very well ventilated place. I was out in the sun in the start of the video, but like I really couldn't see anything because the bath is white, so it's so bright. The reflection's really insane on your eyes. So that's what that's why I decided just to come into the shade. Okay, and that, my friends, is pasting on the resin. So you'll have about 25 to 30 minutes working time before the resin hardens. And you want to get it around the edges too. can see the consistency is already beginning to change. Okay, so that's the one. I'm going to stick that down. Then we're going to do the second piece. Just going to cut that piece off. And I'm going to take that, place it over the hole again, dip it into the resin, and glue it. Glue it, my friends. Glue it like this. Remember, your surface has to be clean so that you have like adequate that it adheres adequately to the bath. There we go. The resin is definitely warming up. And remember, I don't want like an amazingly perfect finish for this, because it's not like the fish are going to be upset, or the plants are going to be like, oh, this is not even real, this isn't a good job. They don't care. This is going to be at the bottom of the bath and most likely going to get filled with like all kinds of gravel and sediment and stuff. So you really just want it to actually close off really well. It doesn't have to be super tidy. And I was never much of an artist or painter or anything like that, so no points for... Oops, it's already drying. Okay, so I'm not really going to tamper with that too much. Just going to put a nice thick globe over that there as well, so it doesn't... since I have some extra resin left, I'm not going to take any chances. I'm just going to completely make this stuff work for me. Water is a fickle element. If it gets in one place, it's going to get in everywhere. And you can see it's becoming, the consistency is becoming quite thick now. Okay. And then one more at the top there. And I'm just going to dab some places where I think, you know, it may be compromised a little bit. And that's pretty much it. So now we wait for it to dry. Put some there. Put some in around the hole of the actual bathtub, just for added security. I have used all, I have too much resin left, so I'm just gonna paint the resin all over the place wherever I see scars, just to fortify it. Right. Remember, this is for the fish, so it's not like they care. Right, and I think that is it, guys. Yeah, guys. Okay, guys. Welcome back to the second day. So this is now finally completely hardened, sealed over. So is that. And you can see it's actually not the smoothest of... So it is smooth, it's just if you were to bath in it, that would not be really cool, but we're not going to bath in it. This is actually for the fish and for the water plants, so that's pretty cool. So now we're going to fill it, and I've already put the plug back in, and we're going to see if we've got the right attitude here with the bathtub, if it's going to hold its water as it should. Okay, I'm going to start filling it. Alright, so what I've done is I have sealed the gap, and down there as well. You can actually just kind of see that there. What I've done is I've just filled it up to above the crack, and put a line with a marker right on the water line. And I'm going to give it an hour or so just to ensure that there isn't any kind of leakage in this entire bathtub. And then we'll know that we have success. So, and then we'll begin to decorate it. Well, decorate it, just put the plants in it really. There's another one over here. And this one basically also had a crack in it, and I just gave it a good clean and also put some filler, and did the same process over there, and then one right there, and then I've also just put a mark right there just to check that it is remaining at that level. Put one there, and I've also put one right over there. So we'll check back in an hour. It is now 20 minutes before 11, so at about 20 before 12 I'll come and have a look. Okay, see you back here. Okay, so 1 hour later, actually more than 1 hour later, and there is no sign of drop. So that just proves that not only did that work, the sort of fixing of the cracks, but also there are no other cracks in the bathtub, so that's great. So now we can begin to add the water plants to the pond. Okay, so this is 1 day later, and you can clearly see that there are no longer any leaks in either of the bathtubs. So this basically says that my little fixing the bathtub is successful, and that's how you basically fix a bathtub, and you can use it for water plants and little fish. There are some fish in here. They're just fry right now, so it'll take a while before you actually get to see them, but they're in there. And a day later, when I put these lotuses into the water, a lot of their leaves kind of looked like that there. That's actually below the surface of the water, and you can see how these ones are just breaking the surface right now, but pretty much all of them are at the surface, and it's taken just over a day for them to do that. So yeah guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. If you want to know some different things, if I can help, hit me up. Otherwise, keep your fingers green and enjoy and love your garden. Bye for now.